Good evening and many thanks for joining us. You're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue with me, Ansumana Eswanyase. Here are the main news headlines. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy held a National Spectrum Policy and Strategy Validation Consultation event. As this year's farming season starts, the Minister of Agriculture, accompanied by a delegation, is touring rural Gambia to assess the progress of working on rice fields supported by the Roots Project. And the Mayor of Banjul, Rahim Malik Low, and the visiting Mayor of Bissau, Jose Medina Lobato, on Thursday signed 2 bilateral agreements aimed at enhancing experience sharing in urban city planning and youth empowerment. In business news, AIB Bank Limited, the first and leading Islamic financial provider in the Gambia, opened their new branch in Farafenni in Union Bank region on Thursday. And still on business news, on Friday, the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry convened a wide cross-section of stakeholders to address current challenges and explore solutions in the agricultural sector. Well, stay tuned for more on these and other stories. And we now take a look at the news in detail. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy held a National Spectrum Policy and Strategy Validation Consultation event supported by the International Telecommunication Union. Jenna Basonko has the details.
Increasing demand for telecommunication services, which is evident in the surge in the use of mobile phones and other devices. The demand for wireless broadband has also increased due to technological advancement such as 3G, 4G and 5G. The National Spectrum Policy and Strategy will regulate radio frequencies to promote efficient use and gain a net social benefit. Here's the Minister for Communications and Digital Economy, Usman Ba.
The review of national radio spectrum landscape as well as the development of holistic national radio the existing gap and challenges associated with existing national frequency allocation and assignment, and so the availability of a robust radio frequency spectrum policy strategy.
The validation is supported by the International Telecommunications Union. The union facilitates international connectivity in communication networks and allocate global radio spectrum and satellite orbits, developed technical standards that ensure networks and technologies connect seamlessly. Here is Walid Madluti, Head of Future Networks and Spectrum Management.
We also try to accompany our member states in the effort of providing connectivity and improving the digital infrastructure in remote areas through projects like school connectivities, so we can provide decent, meaningful connectivity to children in rural areas in order to be able to bring them fair opportunities for education. And it's our pleasure to be able to work together in tackling those challenges.
The telecommunications landscape is widening in the Gambia due to increased service providers and mobile penetration. The market is very competitive, coupled with advanced and innovative services, such as the recent launch of 5G by the country's most innovative GSM operator in the Gambia, QCell. Here is the reaction of Ahmad Jah, Chief Technology Officer, QCell, to the validation of the National Spectrum Policy and Strategy.
Basically, there are some issues when it comes to assignment, when it comes to transparency of assignments and information, and but I'm sure that the government are ready to work now very closely, given that ITU is here to try to identify some of these issues and make it very clear, so that they can also work according to the international standards, because spectrum is not only working with national but international as well.
It requires just and transparent efforts to improve access to digital technologies in the Gambia. particularly in underserved communities who need these technologies to be informed citizens, support education in rural communities. The International Telecommunications Union is made up of a membership of 193 member states and more than 1,000 companies, universities, and international and regional organizations. The Gambia can therefore use its membership to share experiences and best practices globally. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
Now, as this year's farming season starts, the Minister of Agriculture, accompanied by a delegation which included the Permanent Secretary, the Director of Agriculture, and the Roots Project Director, began a tour of rural Gambia to assess the progress of working on rice fields supported by the Roots Project. Our reporter Alaji A.F. Jallo accompanied the delegation in URR and he filed this report.
The minister-led delegation were on a tour of rice fields before the commencement of this year's farming season to assess the level of farmers' preparedness to meeting the set targets in all root-supported intervention sites and to mitigate the potential risk along the rice value chain in the context of climate change. The team visited Fatoto, Garawal, Kanyube and Sotumasamba rice field in URL. During his tour of site visit, the Minister Sabali says the objective of the tour is to get first-hand information on the preparation at all project sites before the start of this year's season.
We are on tour together with the Roots Project, mainly a tour sponsored by the Roots Project, to come and see the sites that they are doing plowing services, sites that they are supporting. We call it Input Support Program. And in this Input Support Program, what the Roots Project is doing is offering plowing services at discounted rate, mostly at 80%. Also supplying them with high yield, drought resistant seed varieties. Also supplying them with fertilizer, but also giving them herbicide. And all this is geared towards our goal of rice self-sufficiency. And also in this tour is to use that opportunity to do an assessment of the preparedness of the Ministry of Agriculture as to the rainy season regionally. So that's why we are visiting all the agricultural regions except for KMC and Banjul. We are doing the entire province so that we have first-hand information as to the preparedness for the rainy season 2024.
The Agri Minister further mentioned that the surest way to attain rice self-sufficiency in the country is through mechanization.
Mechanization is the surest way to expand hectarage. That is, they will be able to cultivate a lot more land. But also is the surest way to attract young people, because young people cannot go back to the drudgery of our parents. So the surest way to expand both production, productivity, and also in fact the number of farmers, especially the young people, is mechanization.
As he wrapped up his tour of the region, the minister made a special appeal to the youths to venture into agriculture as one measure to curb youth unemployment in the country.
What I will tell the young people is, get into farming. Let's get involved. Start small and expand. That is what I will tell the young people, those have with less capacity. The Gambians that have the capacity, Gambians with a lot of money, let's invest in agriculture. Don't take 30 million and go and build a story building. Take the 30 million, invest it in about 200 hectares of rice production. You will employ a lot of youth. You will employ a lot of women. You will add to the economy of the country, and you will have a very high satisfaction internally, because you would have contributed to the economy, you would have contributed to food security, and you would have had the satisfaction that people are fed because of your sweat. So,
according to the Roots Project officers, Fatoto rice farmers targeted 20 hectares. However, 12 hectares were plowed based on the demands of the villagers. Garawal village increased the number of the hectares from 25 to 75 this season, which is expected to benefit over 100 households. Kanyube targeted 50 hectares. However, only 20 hectares were plowed, which will benefit 80 households, of which 14 are women-led households. In Sotumasamba cluster, which comprises of two villages, Sotumasamba Koi and Senikande, already harrowed 50 hectares, and seeding is actively ongoing. The subsidy input supply with the Roots Project for last year was 6 communities that cultivated 116 hectares. This year, the project intervened in 12 communities with a combined 386 hectares under cultivation. For QTV News, I am Alaji A.F. Jallo.
Now, the mayor of Banjul, Rahim Malik Low, and the visiting mayor of Bissau, Jose Medina Lobato, on Thursday signed 2 bilateral agreements aimed at enhancing experience sharing in urban city planning and youth empowerment. More in this report.
A reception characterized by a quarter guard by the city police
and an embrace and handshake with his counterpart captures the significance of his visit between mayors of the respective capital cities. Mayor Roberto of the municipality of Bissau is on a working visit to Banjul on the invitation of his counterpart, Mayor Himalik Law, and as part of efforts to foster bilateral ties between the two cities, they signed 2 agreements to shape Bissau-Banjul relations. The first agreement seeks to strengthen relations between the two councils, particularly in enhancing knowledge sharing in project implementation, urban city planning and youth empowerment initiatives, notably in the areas of sports and culture. The second agreement formalizes a request by the Bissau City Mayor for support and guidance to establish a referral national chapter in Bissau. Welcoming her counterpart to the city of Banjul, Mayor Himalik Law expressed delight in receiving her counterpart and commended the municipality of Bissau for showing an interest in working with BCC, particularly in supporting youth and women.
This marks a significant and historic milestone in our efforts to strengthen ties between our two cities through twinning cooperation in trade, capacity building, environmental sustainability, culture, and sports. Ladies and gentlemen, Banjul, our beloved capital, is not only a city of rich cultural heritage, but also a hub of dynamic youth engagement and thriving women-led trade activities.
Mayor Law also used the occasion to thank President Barrow and his Bissau counterpart, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, for their efforts to cement relations between the two countries. And Mayor Law reiterated her commitment to ensuring the successful implementation of the signed agreements. Speaking through an interpreter, Mayor Jose Medina Lobato expressed profound gratitude to Mayor Law for showing interest in working with his council and thanks the people of Banjul for their hospitality and also stressed his commitment to strengthening relations between the two capital cities.
Vez mais próxima e mais dinâmica.
It shows that Guinea and Gambia from now on, the relationship between them is strong and it will make more cooperations in between two mother countries.
Há muita coisa que vamos fazer em conjunto.
We have many to do together.
A nível bilateral.
Bilaterally.
Mas também a nível subregional.
And also in sub-region.
Meanwhile, Mayor Law also announced plans to send the Rafela National Chapter Coordinator to Bissau in August to facilitate the establishment of a Rafela National Chapter there. Ansmane Sonyasi for QTV News. And from the report, we will go for a commercial break, but we will be right back.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunyabus. We innovate, orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, thanks for staying with us. And if you're just joining us, be reminded you're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue with me, Ansmane Sonyasi. Now, the Paradise Foundation Initiative on Friday held a forum titled Amplifying Women and Girls' Voices, advocating for National Assembly members to uphold women's and girls' rights, including the ban on FGM aimed at preserving women's rights in the Gambia. Lena Igwenyiba reports.
The forum, conducted in local languages, brought together Bajans, councillors, activists, young girls, health and legal professionals, and women from all walks of life. They discussed and promoted women's and girls' rights in the Gambia, raising awareness about the critical issue of the repeal of the Women's Amendment Bill 2024, which bans FGM and is set for a third reading on July 24th. Aisha Balde is the Executive Director of the Paradise Foundation Initiative.
Women and girls' rights in the Gambia, as you all know, is under threat. And I think that the ban on FGM has actually showcased that there is a loophole and that we need to work together and educate our communities. We need to work together and amplify our voices and our advocacies to ensure that girls are protected.
Olimatu Danso, a legal practitioner, discussed the legal implications of repealing the anti-FGM law, while Hannah Foster, a human rights activist, stressed the importance of being knowledgeable about religious texts, whether the Quran or the Bible, to effectively counter claims that support harmful practices like FGM.
Why loi yo nyumfi Gambia suñ ko bëggé génné sax loi yi ma la xamné mu ngi ci Africa mu ngi ci aduna bi te Gambia bokasi dugasi yomb na way génna ci loi yoyu yombut.
The laws are in place, laws in Africa and around the globe, which the Gambia is a part of, are easy to enter but difficult to exit. As women in the Gambia, if God forbid, the National Assembly repeals these laws, we are empowered to take legal action against the Gambia in national, regional, or international courts. However, let us not be discouraged or lose hope. These laws exist to protect and help us.
ñom rek ñom seen lunette rek moy gis li fi Quran bi wax ne yeen jigéen yi da ngeen wara dem lel.
They are the only ones claiming that the Quran says women should be circumcised. We must ensure that we help ourselves by studying the religious texts, whether the Bible or the Quran. This way, if they make such claims in the future, we can confidently ask, where is it written? Because we have checked and found no such instruction. Aisatude Sawane, chairperson of the National Women Council, while thanking the president, called for a united front by women to protect their rights.
Santa Yalla bi nga xamé né président Adama Barrow génn na démba wax ñu ko jarajëfal ci lolu ndig mom moy suñ papa.
Thank God President Adama Barrow spoke out. We are grateful to him because he is our father. I always say that Gambian women need to unite. A coalition of Gambian women must be formed. This is not about politics or conflict. It is about the health and welfare of Gambian women and children. In his State of the Nation address on June 27th, President Adama Barrow promised to respect and protect the rights of women and girls by upholding the anti-FGM law. This commitment gives hope to women that their fight will be successful through the retention of the existing laws criminalizing FGM. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwanyiba.
And from the report there by Lena Igwenyiba, now on to business news in a moment. Now in business news, AIB Bank Limited, the first and leading Islamic financial provider in the Gambia, offering Sharia-compliant and certified products and services in the financial industry, opened their new branch in Farafenni in the North Bank region on Thursday in their quest to make excellent Islamic banking accessible to all Gambians. Julian Jai attended the opening and Sina reports.
Since its establishment in 1994, AIB Bank has provided quality and accessible banking services based on Islamic financing principles with equitable reward to shareholders, driven by the very best in people and technology. The bank has invested in state-of-the-art pure Islamic core banking software called IMAL, which is considered to be the most successful Islamic banking software, and it is being used by over 100 major Islamic banks, including the Islamic Development Bank. It is the real-time solution which supports retail, corporate, and investment banking while adhering to strict Sharia requirements. IMAL Islamic Financing streamlines the financing workflow from request to execution, settlement, and closure. Kitim Diba, Alcalo of Farafenni, expressed gratitude to the staff and management for opening the bank in Farafenni. Pa Aliou Ndao, Executive Secretary of the Bankers Association, calls on the people of Farafenni to embrace the bank as it is here to promote the well-being and welfare of everyone, especially farmers.
I am calling on all Badibunkas to support your own, and we assured that the bank meets all the legal requirements by the central bank.
Alaji CDS Sisi and Alaji Sheikh Omar Sisi, both natives of Badibu, say unlike other banks, AIB Bank's operations are purely Sharia compliant.
I've been banking with the Islamic Bank since its inception. I left all the banks I was banking with. There is nothing that is 100% perfect, but I'm happy with the services of AIB. I took all my staff there, and I say to the Muslims, this is a very good system. They also help the less privileged. Any loan that attracts an interest is considered riba, which is not good and not acceptable in Islam. But AIB Bank is not doing that. Even if they give you a loan, it will be paid without any interest.
Here is Salifu KJT, a businessman.
Having this bank here is of great significance because I have a business in Banjul, but I have a branch in Farafenni too. I've been banking with AIB in Banjul, but I told my staff here to start depositing their monies here to make our transactions easier.
The bank has just launched its e-payment platforms, that is ATMs and iBanking. AIB Bank operates on the Islamic economic principle of risk and reward, also known as profit and loss sharing. Its unique brand has enjoyed wide acceptance from across Gambian society by providing an attractive platform to provide Islamic financial solutions to their banking needs. Aissatou Jawara, CEO and Managing Director of AIB Bank Limited, expressed gratitude to all those who contributed to the successful inauguration of the bank. Madam Jawara went on to say that the bank represents more than just a physical location. It embodies their commitment to serving the community.
As we embark on this new chapter today, I am confident that we will continue to uphold our values and exceed the expectations of our customers. I encourage each of you to embrace this opportunity that lie ahead and continue delivering exceptional experiences to every individual who walks through our doors today.
AIB Bank firmly believes that not all wealth is measured in dollars and bututs, combining the values and the traditions of Sharia-compliant banking with world-class banking services, your money and you halal returns. AIB Bank, your investment partner. Reporting for QTV News in Farafenni in the North Bank region, I am Jules Njai.
Now, still on business news, on Friday, the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry convened the stakeholders in the agriculture sector, including farmer organizations, marketers, processors, and government officials, to address current challenges and explore solutions. Alusi reports.
The purpose of this well-attended meeting, which brings together key stakeholders from various facets of the agricultural industry, is to discuss critical issues, share insights, and collaborate on strategies that can enhance the sector's growth and sustainability. It also offers a platform for addressing current challenges, exploring innovative solutions, and forging partnerships that can drive positive change. Sarata Konate, Chief Executive Officer of GCCI, and Suleiman Mbouch, Board Director of GCCI responsible for agriculture, recognized agriculture as an indispensable sector that requires innovation to thrive.
What is the stumbling block that we can't embrace all these new solutions to ensure that efficiency is guaranteed in agriculture and sustainability is guaranteed in agriculture? Growth, which is the most imperative of all, is also guaranteed in agriculture.
I believe this is the most important sector of our economy. Everybody in this country needs a farmer, minimum one day.
Highlighting challenges they face, which include inadequate markets, land for agricultural activities, salt intrusion, farm equipment, storage facilities, animal feeds, farm inputs and financing. Stakeholders including Bakari Kujabi of Maro Farms, an indigenous rice production, processing and marketing company based in Pachar, Central River Region, Abdul Njai, Secretary General of the North Bank Farmers Association, which is operating under the slogan, Grow What You Eat and Eat What You Grow, with members from Barato Palodi and Ibrahima Jallo, president of the Gambia Livestock Association, applauded GCCI for convening this dialogue meeting. They appeal from government and development partners to help address their challenges.
The realities on the ground is the lands are not level, the gates are not properly fixed, and the canals too have a problem.
As long as livestock is concerned, the biggest challenge that we have is feeding. And then the other thing, when we talk about poultry, because poultry is the only sector that we find difficult in terms of marketing, but then the other areas are feeding, and that feeding is affecting both ruminants, large and small ruminants, and again, it's also disturbing the poultry sector.
Reacting to the concerns raised, Sekou Sanyang, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture, said the government through his ministry takes the concerns seriously and said there are ongoing efforts to provide solutions.
Yes, for rice self-sufficiency, if we want to achieve that, we must look at certain things. One is the land development, two is land leveling, and three is the water management. For land development, actually, it's a challenge in the sense that the capacity is not here when you come to the contractors. The know-how is there, but the physical equipments that is necessary to do the necessary land development is a challenge. So we are even maybe thinking of, if possible, outsource some of these contractors to neighboring countries.
Several speakers expressed similar sentiments and recommended farmers to be well organized to better manage their affairs and have a powerful voice. Founded in 1967, the GCCI is a non-profit and private sector-driven organization that facilitates business development, promotes cross-border trade exhibition, and advances the business community's interest. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
And I'm afraid that's all about it for this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap for main headlines. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy held a National Spectrum Policy and Strategy Validation Consultation event. As this year's farming season starts, the Minister of Agriculture, accompanied by a delegation, is touring rural Gambia to assess the progress of working on rice fields supported by the Roots Project. And the Mayor of Banjul, Rahim Malik Low, and the visiting Mayor of Bissau, Jose Medina Lobato, on Thursday signed two bilateral agreements aimed at enhancing experience sharing in urban city planning and youth empowerment. And in business news, AIB Bank Limited, the first and leading Islamic financial provider in the Gambia, opened their new branch in Farafenni in the North Bank region on Thursday. And still on business news, on Friday, the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry convened a wide cross-section of stakeholders to address current challenges and explore solutions in the agricultural sector. That's it from us. To join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Until then, thanks for watching.